Being a child of God is really cool, and if you're a new child of God, here's what to do next. Welcome to my channel once again. If you're an old subscriber, thank you for watching again. If you're new, subscribe, join the family. And this video is actually for people that just give their lives to Christ, or people that just got to know Christ, or they just rededicated their lives, like they don't know what to do next and everything. I remember that I was having a conversation with a sister of mine, and she was talking about what people really like to hear, and that a lot of children of God, especially the new ones that just give their life to Christ, they really don't know what to do next. Like they just go to church, but they don't find it funny when they go to church, and they're not in sync with what the pastor or whosoever is talking, what the person is saying. I made this video for people like that. So my next 2 or 3 videos, let's just say the next 2 videos, is going to be about people that just give their lives to Christ and how they can begin their journey, believing that this video is going to help both people that are being in Christ and people that are just giving their lives to Christ and just joining the family. Okay, so on what to do next, the first thing that I would like you to do is actually get in a relationship with the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is like the best person for you. Is one of the most exciting people I know in my life. Like the Holy Spirit is the best gift that Jesus Christ gave any of us, and I'm excited that I know the Holy Spirit. Now, Jesus Christ actually said before leaving that the Holy Spirit is actually the best person to be able to tell us stuff, to be able to help us with things, and to be able to comfort our souls. So, as a new child of God, you have to know that the Holy Spirit has to be your best friend. Without the Holy Spirit, you can't do anything really. You can't really understand or grasp the full reality of who Jesus Christ is. And grasping the full reality of Jesus Christ is like what is going to propel you forward to want to know Him more, to want to serve Him more, and everything. In John 15:26, I'll read it to you right now from the Good News version. It says that the Helper will come, the Spirit who reveals the truth about God, who comes from the Father. I'll send him to you from the Father, and he will speak about me. So for you to know more about Jesus Christ, the best person to talk to is the Holy Spirit. He's your helper, he's your strengthener, he's your comforter. He's like everything in one package, and he lives within you. That's the beautiful part. He lives within you, he speaks to you. He is not your conscience, he is a being that lives in you. He's a spirit man that allows you to know what to do and what not to do. He can speak through your conscience, he can speak through different ways, but he's actually a person that can tell you more about Christ. So as a new child of God, make the Holy Spirit your friend. Start by saying, I welcome you, Holy Spirit. I love you, Holy Spirit. I want you to take charge of my heart, take charge of my being. I want to know Jesus more. Help me to know Him more. He's going to start speaking to you. Trust me. Make sure that you learn about the Holy Spirit. Make sure that you develop that relationship with the Holy Spirit, and you're good to go. Number 2 is actually for you to read about Jesus. So if you start conversation with the Holy Spirit and everything, I'm very sure the Holy Spirit will lead you to want to read about Jesus. So I expect you that you should actually take the next step to want to know about the person that saved you, how his life was, what he said, what he did not say. Most of the time when we want to maybe act like somebody, or especially an historical person, like I can imagine a person that acted Martin Luther King must have read about his life and the things that he did, so that the person can get into character so that the person can be able to act like Martin Luther King. So that is the same way. If you want to be like Jesus, you have to know about this Jesus. So I advise you to read the Gospels. They talk about the life of Jesus, how he lived his life on earth. So that way it will give you insight into knowing that Jesus Christ loves you and he cares about you and he wants you to come to him. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John is going to really help you to know about Jesus, his life, the betrayals, the disappointment, the weakness, the strength, everything, the miracles especially, which are very, very, very beautiful things to read about. So you are going to really learn about this Jesus and you will fall in love with him. Trust me, you really want to be there. You wish you were there when he was around. So reading about Jesus Christ is like the next best thing you can do. So read the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Trust me, the next best thing you want to do is actually talk to God. So number 3, the next step you can take is actually talking to God. That is called prayer, in other words. And prayer is not just closing your eyes and talking to somebody that you cannot see. prayer is not a one-side conversation. Talking to God is a two-side conversation. That's why we have the Holy Spirit in us. It helps us to know what Christ is saying, what God is saying to us. So talking with God is very, very important. Don't be afraid to actually go to God in prayer. He understands you, he understands where you are, he knows your thoughts, but he wants to hear you talk to him. How will you feel if you actually got married to somebody and you do not talk to the person? Like, you just imagine the person knows everything in your mind. You guys just wake up in the morning and do stuff differently. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't sound like marriage, right? So that is the way it is when you give your life to God and give your life to Jesus. It's like you just married someone. We are called the bride of Christ. So it treats us like a wife. So it treats us very tenderly and very gently. So he really wants you to talk to him. Having a conversation with God is telling him part-time what is going on, bringing him into the things you are doing. God, this is what I'm doing right now. Or God, I'm confused about this right now. God, I need you. And make sure that you also chill, like listen to hear from him. Let him talk to you. He's always saying something, either through a Bible verse, either through a message, either through a voice that you hear, whatever. He's going to find a way to talk to you. So that's why talking to God is very important, so that you can know the way he speaks to you, because he communicates with us differently. So there's a Bible verse, Matthew 6:9, the Lord's Prayer. It kind of guides us on how to pray. It's not like you have to pray the Lord's Prayer every day. It's just to tell you the way to pattern your prayer. So that kind of shapes your prayer life and helps you to start. Okay, next thing you can do is actually get devotionals. Now, devotionals actually help us and guide us on what to know about Christ. It kind of helps us to shape our walk with God and everything. It exposes you to things that on your own you can necessarily not get to. But I would advise you not to attach your relationship to devotionals, because I did that at the beginning of my walk with God, and it kind of got messy, because at some point when I didn't read my devotional, I felt like I was out of tune with God, and I wasn't praying or doing other things like reading my Bible and everything. So I was just focused on devotional. It was kind of distracting. It wasn't helping. And when I stopped reading devotionals, I kind of stopped altogether, like my relationship with God. So it doesn't really help when you get attached to. You can get an audio devotional, you can get a video devotional, and you can get a readable devotion. That's a manual devotional, anyone that worked for you. I listen to podcast every morning as my devotional. I listen to Stephen Fortick of Elevation Church. You can check him out. Joyce Meyer too. And I also listen to Joel Austin. I listen to Joseph Prince also. So those are the devotionals I listen to they keep my spirit alive. So those things that help me. The reason why I listen to audio, because I noticed that I couldn't read because of the timing of having to wake up and go to work. So I started listening to podcasts, and in the morning I listen to it while I'm having my bath, while I'm brushing my teeth, when I'm eating. So all these things help me. And even at work, sometimes when I'm working, I actually listen to these messages, and it keeps me alive, keeps me in tune with Christ, it keeps me in tune with God, and it has been very, very helpful. So I advise you to actually do that. Okay, so I wasn't actually thinking of handling this, but the research kind of reminded me to have this. Start a journal. Get a journal to be able to journal your improvements, like the words that God is speaking to you, the Bible verses that lay in your heart, the Bible verses you want to remember. Get a journal and journal your work with God. God actually likes it when you remember things he has said. If there's anybody that I've learned that, I have learned that too. I really advise you to actually get a journal. Last but not the least, do not neglect the gathering of the saints. Like, do not neglect it, meaning that you should fellowship with others. Now, fellowshipping with others has to do with going to church. So if you're a new child of God and you want God to live with you, in you, and you're giving your life to Christ, you have to go to church. The reason why you're going to church is not because you want to become a church goer or you want to be recognized as somebody that I go to church to. No, it's not for show. It's actually for growth, for a fellowship, for you to be able to connect with other people. Now, you grow faster when you're in the midst of people that are like-minded. So the reason why you should go and fellowship with other people by going to church is for like minds, to meet like minds, to be able to relate with people, to be able to ask questions from people that have gone farther in you in the faith, and to be able to also look at how people relate and behave and all those things. Sometimes I always wonder why it was important for us to actually go to university or school where people were like, can't we just be homeschooled for university life and stuff? But there's nothing that can be compared to being in the university yourself. No matter how much you say you want to learn online and stuff, there's nothing like being there. That's the truth. So it's always good to be present with other people that, you know, have the same spirit. This helps us to also be accountable to somebody. So having a pastor over you and meeting up with people is actually for also accountability, so that when you want to report yourself, you have someone to report yourself to.